emergency medical transportation company is the fact that you could you can find yourself in a position where what you do no one else knows about. And when I say no one else knows about it, I'm referring to like your friends and your family. You can actually run a very quiet non-emergency medical transportation company. No one really knows what you do. No one understands the services you provide. No one actually comprehends or understands or appreciates what you actually do. It could be that quiet if you have it organized the right way. Having your company set up in a proper structure is more important than actually providing the services. And the reason having it set up in a proper structure is so important is because you should strive to run your company to where things are still being done whether you're there or not. If you're hiring the right people, if you're advertising properly, if you're putting yourself in a position where you're a intricate part of services being provided in your community, they don't need to see you, they need to see your vehicles pull up. But that's a challenge because a lot of times people make their business about themselves. There's nothing wrong with condensing your company down so that it has the ability to truly expand and grow, and everyone loves to use the popular word scale. When you're experiencing growth, you still have to take your time when you're hiring people and bringing them on. One of the mistakes I made when I experienced my first growth with my company was I just started bringing bodies on and trying to, handle the cumbersome nature of providing services to brokers and the paperwork that came with it. So some of the individuals that I brought on were not qualified to provide the service in a best practices standpoint because growth, it just hit that fast. And since I was chasing brokers, mistakes were made. But when I look back on it, the biggest mistake was people not truly appreciating what service I was providing and the growth potential that was there. A lot of times you can hire someone that thinks this big and you really need someone to think that big. And you'll make mistakes. So how do you avoid those mistakes? How do you avoid hiring someone that can only think this big and you need someone to think this big? You don't hire people that only want to do a job. You have to get away from, and this goes back to hiring the right people, bringing on the right people. You got to get away from hiring people for a job. The world's been changing for the last decade, but the world changed 2 years ago, and it changed for the better. But we're actually experiencing a cycle that has taken us down to go up. And what I mean by that is everyone's a contractor now. Everyone's in charge of their own little island. And even if you don't want to be, the trendy thing is to act like you're in charge of your own little island. So it's going to take a little bit of time for people to get out of, oh, I want to be my own boss. I'm the plug. I want to run my own show. It's going to take a little bit of time for people to get out of that mindset because everyone now has tasted the fruits of attempting to be an entrepreneur. So everyone wants to be in charge of their own thing now. You can either use that as a place to complain about, or you can use that as an opportunity for your small business. If you're hiring people just to drive, you're going to constantly be turning people over. You're gonna constantly find yourself turnover. And the reason is because the industry that you're in, you're only going to be able to pay so much money to a driver per se. If you hire an independent contractor, they're exactly that. They're independent contractors. They're only going to focus on the immediate reimbursement that you're receiving. But if you start looking at the perspective of hiring partners, selling people a program, a package that they can see results from, repeated results from, then you have the opportunity to build a business that only understands growth. As I've stated before, I don't hire employees anymore. I don't hire people just to do a job. Thanks to automation, you don't need as many people doing things for you anymore. If you have the right dispatching software, you don't need anyone keeping track of what's going on. It keeps track of it itself through automation. So technology has become your true employees. The people that run your business should be apps and software packages. The individuals that are in the vehicle, you have to start treating them the same way. You have to start saying to yourself, okay, how do I put this individual in a position where they're running their own area? A lot of people call them regions, their own zone. If you look at the model of some of the brokers that you're chasing and that you're running behind, they have zones and regions. And it's their job to hire out the work for those zones and those regions. Your mindset should be the same. I'm not hiring someone to do trips. I'm hiring someone to manage an area for me. Okay? And I'm going to partner with them to manage that area for me in a fashion that allows them to grow with the company. The more demand, the more pay. Stop hiring people just for a job. Jobs no longer exist. They proved that to you when they shut everything down a few years ago. There are no more jobs. That's just busy work to keep the American people focused on, I have to feed my family. They just proved they could send you home, pay you to stay home, and it doesn't affect how government is ran. Nothing shut down, nothing turned off. Checks were not bounced. And if they have that ability to do that with the swipe of a couple of signatures and some clicks on a computer that says deposit these funds into this person's account, that means you don't matter. You don't exist. You have no value. I'm not saying that to scare you. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but it's the same with your business. If you stop providing services tomorrow and that broker doesn't pick up the phone and get bent out of shape about it, it may take them a few days to replace your trips with another company. And that's because their automation has already assigned you trips for the next few days. So you're plug and play. Employees were shown that, and no one realizes it because everyone's been lied to and said, oh, well, you be your own boss, do drop shipping, Shopify, start your own business, get a billboard. Listen, I do advertising. If you can afford a billboard, it's because the real money is going somewhere else. If you can afford a billboard, it's because the money is going somewhere else. You should not be focused on or worried about or concerned with the fact that you can put up a billboard. You should be saying to yourself, whoever used to pay top dollar for that billboard, where are they sending their money now? They're sending it online. They're running online ads, if you didn't already. When you're looking to bring people on to your company, you have to start looking at individuals that want to grow your business, not individuals that are just there to pick up a person. You have to get out of that mindset. Your viewpoint has to be different. No one wants employees anymore. As soon as I stopped hiring people and started putting people in charge of, hey, I'm going to go find trips in this area, it's your job to manage them, business became so much easier. They stopped looking to me for answers because they wanted to have solutions to their own situations. That's how you grow your staff. That's how you grow your partners. Hopefully this has been helpful.